Hello everybody, it's me again. I hope you enjoyed the last video. The subject of today's video, well, I've got a bit of spare time. As you can see, I'm just kicking back in the car waiting for my daughter. But the subject today is the front page of the Daily Mirror. Gulf War 3, Britain on the brink. Well, what a surprise, eh? Who would have believed we'd be back involved in another war? It's just phenomenal. I thought they'd learned the lessons. It's just really strange, you know. And a week after the Scottish election vote, I mean, a bit suspicious they didn't do it before that, isn't it? You know, another vote for war a few days before Scottish Parliament, a Scottish independence vote, might have just focused a few people's minds who were on the fence of which way to vote. You know, they might have thought, for fuck's sake, I've had enough of this now. Not another war, let's get out of here and separate ourselves from these Westminster warmongers once and for all. But no, that vote we're having tomorrow was delayed a week or so. Just convenient, just a coincidence, so nothing to worry about there. Just one of those things, I suppose. But we're off again now, and they want to start bombing Iraq and no doubt Syria very soon. Let's remember about a year ago, Cameron went to the Houses of Parliament and he tried to get the MPs to vote for military action, didn't he? But God knows how, but a few of the MPs found a spine for once and voted the right way, which must have come as a real shock to the leaders of the parties. But I don't hold out any hope for the same happening tomorrow. I think it's a done deal once again. We're going to see them bombing probably this weekend or early next week. British forces back in doing what they do best, bomb the shit out of people. Innocent people, of course, they'll be the main culprit of this lot. You know, it doesn't matter which flag you're wearing. Britain, Israel, Iraq, Afghanistan, you know, America. War is war and innocent people die. And I urge people who watch this video just, you know, not to fall for the "our boys," you know, propaganda and bullshit. It's wrong. Yes, people are dying over there, but why are they dying? And I'll tell you why. When it became apparent last year, when, you know, they couldn't get the votes to go into this war, I think they had to take it in that tact, and this is why we had the creation of ISIS or ISIL or Ice Baby, whatever the hell you want to call them. You know, there's a bunch of ragtag thugs. You know, they're the same people that populated Al-Qaeda, the same people that populated the Taliban. The same lads again, hired thugs and causing rampaging through that area to give the West an excuse once again to go in and do what they do best, which is take over countries, take their resources, give them to the big business pals, and then move on to the next country. That's the agenda, that's the plan. So they created ISIS, funded them. There you go, everyone's up in arms, innocent people are dying. That's tragic, that's wrong, it shouldn't have happened. But why are they dying? And it's because of us again. The same old people. Israel, America, Britain. There's a few Middle East countries getting involved this time, it seems, putting their money in and you know, the armory. But it's just so blatant. Anyone that looks into these things, you know, there's people dying all over the world. Why do we only select certain countries where we care about human rights? Look at the human rights abuses in bloody Saudi Arabia. They don't say anything about that. You know, turn a blind eye to that though. But if you dare to be a country that, you know, hasn't got a Rothschilds or a central bank and family controlled central bank in charge of your country, then you're on the hit list. You check out the Axis of Evil. There was about 7 countries on there. I think about 3 in now, 3 or 4 in. None of them had a Rothschild controlled central bank. The countries that have been affected, you know, Iraq has now, Libya has now. You can bet your bottom dollar Syria will have one as soon as the invasion's over with. So it's the same old people, big business and the central bankers using countries, governments and their armies and their air forces and navies to get what they want. And we've got to stop putting up with this. We've got to think hard about what's really going on, because it's just getting out of hand and it's never ending. You know. You're paying for it, by the way, taxpayers at home. British taxpayers are paying for these missions. Every time they go out, it costs millions. Strange how they can afford it though, isn't it, really, you know? We've got students having to pay nine grand a year to go to university. Got disabled and sick people and the poorest people in the country who dare to have a spare bedroom. My God, a spare bedroom? You have to be punished for that. Can't afford that in this country. You know, prescriptions £8 a pop. You know, old age care costs a fortune. All these things they can't afford. The Czechs are pretty generous when it comes to war though, aren't they? Never any shortage of money then, is there? Or if the Queen wants a fucking new gold carriage, we'll find the money for that. Or, you know, Prince William and his broodmare want a renovation to the house. Oh, well, yeah, a few million there. Well, that's no problem. Won't afford that. There's always money for the elite and the establishment in this country, isn't there? Never any shortages there. And people are putting up with this shit. You've got to wake up and stop voting. That's the first thing you do. You know, check out Morrissey's single "World Peace Is None of Your Business." What great lyrics in that song. Fantastic. You know, each time you vote, you enforce the process. I think I might got that word wrong, but you're letting them get away with it by voting. We need new parties. We need a new system. This whole system needs to come down and be replaced with something that benefits and represents the people of the country, not the elites and the establishment. It's just never ending, you know. There's that tosspot Ed Miliband. We will make the minimum wage £8 by 2020. Christ, it would probably be that anyway with inflation. If he was a real Labour leader, it would be £8 the minute he came into power, and it would be going up substantially upon year as well. Fucking £8 by 2020. Would he like to be earning £8 in 2020, would he? No. The Labour Party don't represent the working people of this country. You have got to get that in your head straight away. The best party for me at the moment is the Green Party. I mean, I don't agree with the environmental aspect of the party. I think the man-made global warming is a big con. They've fallen for that. But all the rest of their policies seem pretty sound. They seem, you know, pretty like old Labour, socialist type values, which seem the best to me. But as I say, they're probably the best of a bad bunch. If you do have to put your cross in a box next year, I'm going to do that if I have to. There's nothing else better at the moment, but as I say, the system is all wrong. It's not representing people. Politics has failed. There's no left and right anymore. You know, it's just window dressing to give you the facade that you've got a choice. Look at it. I mean, tomorrow they're going to vote to go to another war. Nobody in this country I've ever spoke to wants them to go to another war. What's going on in the Middle East has nothing to do with people in Britain. Would rather have that money saved and spent in this country to improve the lives of people here. But no, that won't happen. Same old, same old. We've got to stop it somehow. Got to come together and be non-violent, non-cooperation with the system. You don't need to march in the streets. You don't need to smash buildings up. There's no need for murder. There's no need for... just stop cooperating with the system. That's what they fear the most. Non-violent, mass non-cooperation with the system. They can't handle that, but they've never had to. But that's what they fear the most. And you know, we're going to be, you know, the people that make these decisions, they know, they're not stupid. They know the public aren't for all these wars and never-ending conflict and death and misery. So this is why you're seeing the troops pushed forward into the news and the mainstream, because they're acting as a buffer between us and the politicians. They know the troops are rightly, people are proud of them, they're popular because they're brave people, we know that, but they're being abused and used by these people. So I think the idea is, you can't criticise the war if you don't criticise the soldiers. I don't know if I make myself clear, but it's hard to criticise wars because there's a buffer in between. There's those popular troops, we're rightly proud of, our military over the years, what they've done for this country. But now they're being abused, they're being used. That's the difference. They're going out and young kids getting killed and body parts blown off, But people think if they criticise the war that they're being disloyal to the troops. They're not. The best thing you can do for the sake of the troops is to stop these wars, stop them getting sent into the way of danger. Then you won't need, help for heroes and Invictus games and things like this, because they won't be getting hurt, they won't die in these pointless, futile wars. So the best way to support the troops, folks, is to stop voting, put pressure on these politicians, make your voice heard, and let's stop the wars. It's very difficult though, because the stop the war thing in Iraq, about 1 million people marched in London and they took no notice. Marching and protest, they can deal with that all day long. That's not a problem. That system's set up for that. But we've got to start thinking differently and acting differently to stop this for the good of our children and grandchildren, because this is just going to keep going on and on and on. The war machine, the military industrial complex is massive, but somehow people have got to wake up, educate themselves and put a stop to it. Anyway, people, if you enjoyed this video, please feel free to subscribe below and also leave your comments. They'd be much appreciated. Until next time, I'll see you later.